And you have to almost turn down better opportunities to stick out that show. That's why you always see people that seem to despise the show that made them famous.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like Blake wanted to do bigger things and probably thought she was above that. I mean, once you do these shows, you memorize a couple lines. It's not rocket science. They're not out there doing like, Philip Seymour Hoffman level acting.
There's clear breadcrumbs leading all the way in the past that show that she was out here trying to destroy other co-stars' names because she just was in her fifis.
No, I wasn't at all. I knew that was the last thing in the world I wanted to do. But also before I started acting, I knew that was the last thing in the world I wanted to do. And then I did Sisterhood and I was like, this is fantastic, I love it.
Former Gossip Girl extra Dave Neal recently shared behind-the-scenes details about his time on the set of the hit teen drama, shedding light on the cast's dynamics and the less-than-glamorous reality of filming. In a candid discussion, Neal revealed that while many fans idolized the show's high society world, things weren't always as dazzling behind the scenes. One of his most striking observations was about Blake Lively, who, according to him, often appeared miserable during filming. His comments have sparked curiosity among fans, raising questions about the pressures of starring in a cultural phenomenon like Gossip Girl.
So we have some weird connections. And I tell you what, Blake Lively looked miserable back in the day. And I've always tried to give her grace and always tried to say, you know what, maybe she's just trying to memorize her lines. But, here we all are shivering, doing some spring dance scene in January in New York City, wearing next to nothing outside. They literally have heaters to kind of melt all the snow. And then there she is in her plush fur complaining about, her day when we're getting paid, $112 for 8 hours work. So
in recent discussions, former Gossip Girl extra Dave Neal has provided insights into the behind-the-scenes atmosphere of the popular teen drama, particularly focusing on the experiences of the cast during filming. Neal's observations have reignited conversations about the pressures faced by actors on such high-profile projects.
Not a huge fan of Gossip Girl. They had a bad rate, the CW rate. They pay you less, even in the union, than other shows. So, yeah. So not a fan, but I mean, it was culturally speaking. I mean, in New York, I remember days that cast was treated like the Beatles. They really were. You'd see Ed Westwick running from one location to another with a bunch of girls chasing after him. It was a wild time to be alive.
So wait, do you have any details on the Penn Badgley and Armie Hammer of it all? Because we're hearing now that Blake Lively, there was an old interview in, I think it was Glamour magazine in the UK, where she talks about poisoning the cast against Penn Badgley because she didn't like him when he was first brought onto the set. And then we've also heard these resurfaced stories from Armie Hammer where he claims he only ended up taping 4 episodes of Gossip Girl.
It's been 1 week since the Gossip Girl account tweeted that picture of the old cast and everybody freaked out. And there's just been nothing from that. Is that just like a hit at the new show? Like, oh, this new show sucks.
Just popping in to say the new show sucks.
Just popping in to say you guys sullied our good name with this trash.
New show sucks. XOXO Gossip Girl.
That show got canceled, right?
Yeah.
It was not good.
I didn't watch it.
I dabbled in like 2 episodes and then that was it.
Blake Lively, who portrayed the iconic Serena van der Woodsen, has previously shared her own reflections on the demanding nature of the show. In an interview, Lively described the production process as feeling more like being in the center of a marketing machine rather than traditional acting.
I don't think I relate to any of my characters. I've played a crack addict from Boston. I've played an Upper East Side princess. I think that's the safety in that, is that I never play characters that are like me. The dangerous thing in like being on a TV show for 6 years is that people have seen, I did like 127 episodes. So people assume, and I live in New York, I shared half of my wardrobe with my character. I, dated my co-star who I dated on the show, who then suddenly was my brother on the show, which is a very strange, very strange thing. This dress was one of the most critical sort of fashion moments of Gossip Girl. This was a Ralph Lauren dress. This was just like such a beautiful look, those little cropped black gloves. And I ended up wearing Ralph Lauren to the Met. That was my first year that I was invited to a Met Gala. And I think they only invited me because of this dress. And I even wore cropped gloves there because it was like such a sweet look. The impact of the fashion on that show was greater than anything else, greater than the storytelling, greater than the characters. And it definitely changed my life.
She elaborated on the hectic schedule, noting that they were often shooting multiple episodes simultaneously, receiving lines at the last minute, and lacking a clear character arc or planning. This frenetic pace contributed to a sense of disconnection from the craft, making the experience feel more like participating in a cultural experiment than a scripted drama.
They're shooting the last Gossip Girl. That's like the end of an era for you.
Yes, it is. It's crazy. 6 years. We're finally done. I can't believe it. I literally moved out of my parents' house in Burbank and moved here to New York to shoot Gossip Girl, and now we're done.
So is it bittersweet to walk onto the set tomorrow? Or are you going to celebrate with the casting?
It is, but it doesn't feel real. I mean, and we know it's the end, but we're so used to coming to work together every day that we're going to have withdrawals afterward. But yeah, it's been very celebratory in these final few months, knowing that we're coming to an end and just appreciating the time.
So now, Chanel.
Yes.
So is this sort of like a Cinderella moment here tonight?
Every moment in Chanel is a Cinderella moment. It's a beautiful Chanel couture dress, and the dress is held together by Chanel jewelry, which is, extra amazing. So yeah, I'm excited to be here.
And I love the fact that you have an actual necklace in your hair as a
It's neat, right? I wanted some sort of like tiara because it looked like a princess dress. So I put a necklace in.
In a resurfaced 2009 interview with Glamour magazine, Blake Lively candidly discussed her initial reservations about working with Penn Badgley on the set of Gossip Girl. Lively admitted that upon learning of Badgley's casting, she was upset and attempted to sway her fellow cast members against him. She confessed, "I actually poisoned the whole cast against him." However, her perspective changed quickly as she recognized Badgley's genuine and charming nature, leading her to acknowledge her misjudgment within a week.
A 2009 Glamour UK interview by Blake Lively, and in her interview, she admitted to trying to poison the cast of Gossip Girl, which is where she made her name, against her co-star Penn Badgley, who played her love interest, Dan Humphrey, on the show. She said, "At first I was so upset that they had hired him, I actually poisoned the whole cast against him." And she goes on to say, "But then they noticed that he wasn't a jerk and was actually a nice, charming person, and almost immediately I realized it too. But it took me about a week to admit it." And here's the thing. Reports were that Blake Lively and Leighton Meester, who played best friends on that show, were not friends during the 6-season run of the show. Leighton Meester and Penn Badgley and other Gossip Girl co-stars have remained silent in the wake of the Baldoni legal drama. Neither Meester nor Badgley follow Lively on Instagram.
Or, you know what? Potentially proof positive that there is a history of her doing this type of behavior, going out of her way to talk ish, put out rumors, say bad things, say negative things about other co-stars, either because she just is in her feelings about that person, not happy about that person being in the show, or because she feels, I don't know, maybe because she just wants to start drama for the sake of starting drama. I don't know what it is, but clearly we're seeing the embryo stage, like the embryo stasis, or the embryo stage, the beginnings, right, of this whole thing to what it has flowered or blossomed into now.
Despite this rocky start, Lively and Badgley developed a close relationship, both on and off the screen. They began dating in 2007, mirroring the romantic storyline of their characters, Serena van der Woodsen and Dan Humphrey. Their real-life romance lasted until 2010, during which they maintained a professional demeanor on set, ensuring that their personal relationship did not interfere with their work.
It's sort of like a college roommate that you're super fond of, but just don't live near and don't see, and you don't really have the same things that connect you anymore. That's really what it's like. Okay. Chase and Leighton happen to be two who I'm more recently in touch with, partly because of the podcast, but that's more or less circumstantial. You know, I mean, I think we all remain like, none of us live near one another, but we're just sort of like, we remember it fondly, and when we do run into each other, it's like, hey.
However, Taylor Momsen, another co-star from the show, stated she has no bad memories of Penn Badgley, suggesting he wasn't problematic. This raises the possibility that Blake Lively was simply spreading her own narrative against him. If Taylor had no issues, perhaps Blake's claims were more about personal bias than actual wrongdoing on Penn's part.
I mean, but I don't have any bad memories of you, so that's good.
Great.
So bad memories of you.
And we'll leave it at that.
And we'll leave it at that. No, I always had fun filming our scenes together, especially in the beginning. We worked a lot. Like, we worked a lot together.
Yeah, actually, but you know, I mean, I'm almost like, aw. By the end, we really didn't work together.
No.
At all.
No.
You were always doing crazy.
Storyline. I was off being a drug dealer and whatever else they were writing in.
This resurfaced interview has gained attention amidst Lively's ongoing legal disputes with her It Ends With Us co-star, Justin Baldoni. The legal battle includes serious allegations and has attracted significant media coverage. The trial is scheduled for March 2026, with potential involvement from other high-profile individuals.
Now there are more things starting to come out, showing that there are breadcrumbs, that there is a possibility that she's been doing this since she's been in the system, since she's been in the Hollywood game. And it's insane to me because this is also her going after another co-star on a hit show. Now, Gossip Girl was a very, very popular show. For those of y'all who don't know, I'm sure a lot of you guys know or were first introduced to Blake Lively through that show.
The controversy dates back to the troubled production of the romantic drama It Ends With Us, where tensions on set and behind the scenes quickly morphed into a full-blown legal war. Blake Lively, once known for her polished public image and acclaimed acting chops, has found herself embroiled in a bitter dispute after filing complaints alleging that Justin Baldoni engaged in inappropriate on-set behavior.
Justin Baldoni is now involving Taylor Swift in his lawsuit against Blake Lively. So Justin Baldoni is suing Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and their publicist for over $400 million for all the It Ends With Us drama. Now he's name-dropping Taylor Swift, Blake's bestie, in the mix. Thankfully, Taylor Swift is not being sued, but she's mentioned in his 179-page paper complaint, and he's alleging that Taylor's fame was used to pressure him during production. And it really all stems from this penthouse situation where Blake and Ryan live. Apparently there was a meeting there with all of them, and Taylor Swift was actually present, and Blake ended up rewriting one of the scenes. And even after the meeting was over, Baldoni texted Blake this, saying, "I gotta put my glasses on for this one, the font is too small. Also was working on the rooftop scene today. Really love what you did."
This was a sinister PR move. Blake Lively then moved 11 days later to file a lawsuit. So now she has filed a lawsuit, and I don't think she ever wanted to do this. I think she genuinely wanted this to be a PR move, and she wanted to leak it to the New York Times. She thought the public would take her side with no questions asked, and instead the public is saying, no, we have a few questions here. And Justin Baldoni is going all the way to the wall on this. His lawyer is already giving interviews explaining just how nasty her team has played this. The lawyer's name is Brian Friedman. He stopped by the Megyn Kelly show, and here's some of the things that he had to say. First, he says there used to never be a civil claim. There never was a civil claim until she went to that civil rights office. Take a listen.
There was actually no allegation of sexual harassment until the lawsuit was filed.
The allegations ranging from claims of misconduct to accusations of a retaliatory smear campaign have not only rocked the film's production, but also ignited a media frenzy.
We're going to be talking all things Blake Lively and her legal complaint that she's filed against her It Ends With Us co-star, Justin Baldoni. Yes, the It Ends With Us movie drama does in fact not end. What's interesting about this story to me is the Justin Baldoni of it all. He is a self-proclaimed male feminist. He's woke. He speaks out against sexual assault and sexual harassment, even toxic masculinity. And now in this legal complaint filed by Blake Lively, he's being accused of sexual harassment.
I challenge you to see if you can use the same qualities that you feel make you a man to go deeper into yourself. And will you be man enough to stand up to other men when you hear locker room talk, when you hear stories of harassment, when you hear your boys talking about grabbing ass or getting her drunk, will you actually stand up and do something so that one day we don't have to live in a world where a woman has to risk everything and come forward to say the words "me too"?
This is gonna be really awkward if these allegations are true. I will say, just for the record, I'm not a fan of either of these individuals, and something about both of them rubs me the wrong way.
Followed by an attempted PR takedown of her to cover his own ass from people finding out what he did to her. In an article titled, "We Can Bury Anyone," Blake Lively heroically shared her story, and the world was on her side because it looked like she was just trying to take down a predator in Hollywood. So Justin Baldoni and his ace lawyer launched an all-cylinder fire attack to clear his name, and he started by suing the New York Times, saying that article was just published because it was paid for by Ryan Reynolds, and it was a multi-layered scheme planned out by Blake and Ryan to take down Justin. And I think it's pretty common knowledge that the mainstream media will lie on behalf of their powerful friends or anyone who pays them off to say certain things.
Justin Baldoni has recently launched a website, thelawsuitinfo.com, to share evidence supporting his defense against Blake Lively's allegations. The site includes previously unseen texts and emails exchanged between Baldoni, Lively, and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, aiming to provide context to the ongoing legal battle.
This legal battle between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively just got more intense, and I didn't think it could, because Justin just launched an entire website with close to 400 pages of evidence as he tries to win public opinion in this legal battle between It Ends With Us drama. I don't know anything. Basically, these two are involved in legal disputes. I feel like I've learned more about them in the past few months than I've learned about my friends and family. When you go to his website, there's two different documents, but the first one is the amended complaint. It is 224 pages. And in it, it shows that they found metadata of the New York Times article posted in December showing that they have been colluding with Blake and Ryan for months. And then there is the timeline of the relevant events. It is 168 pages, which starts January 1st, 2019, when he first emailed Colleen about the movie, all the way to January 29th, 2025. That is a 6-year timeline. Like, I've never seen anything like this. This is what Justin wants to let the public know, and this website is live and you could see it for yourself.
However, Baldoni is visibly disturbed and exhausted following Blake Lively's lawsuit. In a recent interview, he admitted feeling drained, revealing he texted his best friend and company president, confessing he wasn't in a good place. He acknowledged being overwhelmed and lacking time to recover or heal.
That are carried to excess that end up being harmful to both men and the women and the people in their lives. Nothing good ever comes from pointing the finger at somebody. Like if we were in a conversation and we didn't know each other and I was coming at you like this, your instinct would be to retreat.
Despite experiencing material success, the emotional toll has been severe, affecting both him and his family. His words reflect deep distress, highlighting how the legal battle and surrounding controversy have weighed on him. The situation has clearly left him struggling, showing how much the ongoing turmoil has impacted his well-being.
This morning I sent a text message to my best friend Jamie and the president of my company, Tara. And I told them that I wasn't in the best place. I told them that I was exhausted, that I haven't given myself time to recover or time to heal. I had a intense year, a lot of material success, and a lot of emotional stress. It's very hard on me and my family.
As Taylor Swift, Blake Lively's own best friend, hasn't publicly sided with her, it raises questions about Lively's claims. If Swift, known for fiercely supporting her friends, hasn't defended Lively, it might suggest that Lively's allegations against Justin Baldoni aren't entirely credible. Silence can sometimes be louder than words, and in this case, Swift's decision not to back Lively could be a subtle indication that there's more to the story than what's being presented.
Here's a fan conspiracy that's going viral saying the reason why I believe Justin Baldoni is because Taylor Swift hasn't defended Blake Lively publicly. You know, hey, it might have some weight. Have a listen.
Say this out loud because I haven't seen anybody else say it. Does nobody else think that Taylor Swift is the dead giveaway? That Taylor Swift is the reason that none of it makes any sense with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni? Like, Blake Lively has to be lying about being sexually harassed And the reason I say that is she couldn't even convince her best friend.
And by the way, other people like Umbrella Guy have said this is why she's doing this fishing expedition with the subpoenas, because they're looking to further smear Justin Baldoni because they don't actually have any evidence of the sexual harassment. And if you really are friends with somebody, like if Taylor Swift really believes Blake, she might say something like, look, let's let this all play out, but I'm standing by my friend. I believe my friend. I think that would be so fair to do. And the fact that Blake hasn't done that at all, I think does speak volumes, because in the end, if Blake Lively is telling the truth, you wouldn't even want to be friends with Taylor Swift at the end of this, because she hasn't had your back. Like, you want your friends to defend you. So the fact that the friends aren't defending you, what does that say? Okay, Lady C is a Twitter account that has gone viral for their sources regarding It Ends With Us. And I'm just going to read what they have to say, because they're putting pressure on Colleen Hoover to throw Blake Lively under the bus.
Do you believe Blake Lively's past may have impacted what she is facing now? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.